All right. Good evening, everybody. It's 5:36 p.m. on May 28th, 2025. I would like to open our May 2025 FCAT Board of Directors meeting for the evening. My name is Jonathan Boshin. I'm the General Manager. The meeting will be recorded for posting on our FCAT website and also broadcast on FCAT Channel 23. The first thing that we'll do on the agenda is approve the minutes from the previous meeting. Have we had time to go over the minutes or?
I could look at them and resend them if you want.
I know I looked at them. We could also table that and approve them at the next meeting if that would
Okay.
do that. How about we do that?
Okay.
So we'll do that. The next thing on the agenda is our general manager's report. So here we go. Since the budget meeting this past March, FCAT has been hard at work contributing in fulfilling its obligations to our four towns. While it has been mainly business as usual for the station, FCAT fulfilled several annual obligations, such as covering the town meetings for Deerfield and Sunderland, and also hosting a special screening for a student film that was produced through FCAT. In addition to its usual duties of government meeting coverage, channel and bulletin board management, FCAT has recorded numerous frontier functions consisting of sports and other stage productions. The frontier school functions, most specifically the sporting functions, have been rather exciting ventures for our station, as it has given several talented frontier students hands-on experience working on professional broadcasts. The sports broadcasts, which have been overseen by Kevin Murphy, who's our youth outreach coordinator, as well as Tom Albert, Ben Roberts, have received a lot of positive feedback and compliments from community members and also from also other schools for the production value. Amongst the volunteers who have immensely contributed their skills to these productions are two seniors, Mason Smith and Tyler Wolkowitz. I believe I said his name properly. The work that both young men have done for the station during not just their senior year, but also their previous school years as well, has been exceptional. And to thank them, they are the first recipients of FCAT's new Chris Collins Memorial Scholarship. This new scholarship will be given to Frontier students who go above and beyond and donate their time to FCAT and are continuing their education to pursue a career in media production. Speaking of students, amongst one of the special events FCAT had the pleasure of hosting this past April was a screening of a Frontier student film called Averted at the Greenfield Garden Cinemas. You can actually see the poster for it. Oh, no, you can't. You can see a poster for the movie on our wall right there at the Greenfield Garden Cinemas. The film was produced through FCAT this past summer by Frontier junior Connor Mabius. The premiere had a huge turnout and was highly received by the audience, which consisted of Connor's peers, Frontier staff, and also residents in our towns as well. And I believe the Greenfield Recorder actually gave him a very nice article to help promote the film as well as the station as well too. Currently, Connor is working on other films through the station with Kevin Murphy, and is also volunteering with covering Frontier events as well. In regards to FCAT's infrastructure projects, progress is being made. FCAT is in the process of launching a new website, which will be going live at the end of this week or the beginning of next week. For FCAT's channel server upgrades and relocation to Sunderland Town Hall, FCAT recently had a meeting with our Comcast liaison to discuss the project. It's the station's goal to have this project completed by the end of 2025, if not sooner, which will make you very happy, Bob, once it's done. The
Yep.
government meeting upgrades to automate the coverage of select board and other frequently occurring meetings is also moving forward as well, as Wasman AV is in the process of purchasing the necessary equipment for us to broadcast the Deerfield meetings to DCTV 15. That's Deerfield's Channel 15. For our summer goals, FCAT is going to continue to work on building our membership in our community and recruiting community members to produce shows and podcasts. Bella Levely, who is our assistant station manager, will oversee these community outreach projects. One of the different activities that FCAT is going to do this summer is a monthly networking night at one of the local ice cream shops, either Sugarloaf Frosties in Sunderland or Simmers Creamery in Whately. Due to the low turnout of the FCAT community picnic last summer, the staff feels that a get together at one of the ice cream stores might be an easier event to put together and invite the community to come meet and network with FCAT staff. And of course, people will be buying their own ice cream. We will not be footing the bill for this. So, well, it'll be a little bit cheaper than the picnics. These events would be done monthly in June, July, August, and possibly September on a weeknight. While the summer will certainly slow down event and government meeting coverage at the station, there will be plenty of other concerts and other community functions that the station will be hard at work at covering. So we have some plans for the summer. Even though things are going to slow down, we're going to keep things going with covering government events and trying to do some social events that get staff, board members, and hopefully other people will come out and join us. So the next up on our agenda is an update on the new server and relocation. Bob Armstrong and I recently had a talk with what's her name, Elaine
Elaine, yeah.
Elaine Leahy, about relocating the server here. She's going to get back to me about who to contact, and she has not yet done that. I'm going to email her again to get that information so we could get the ball rolling on that, because I would like to get that project done sooner rather than later, because it needs to get done, as I stated in my report, before the end of the year, preferably before the end of the summer, because it needs to get done. To update you guys on the Roku project, because the new servers are going to have Roku capability, we've decided to cease work on our Roku platform. We just feel that that's a more appropriate direction to go at this point, because the current server we have does not offer that service, but the new ones that they have that are available to us to get do have that service, and they'll just be easier to manage everything through one.
That's great.
So that'll make things a lot easier for us. The next thing on our agenda is an update on the FCAT production assistant job posting. I did an assistant job posting about a couple of weeks ago for a production assistant position, because Marie is out on injury, and also we do need some more help just with covering stuff. And I've had a lot of applicants. I've had 3 job interviews so far for people, and I'm having 3 more the first week of June. And I hope to make a selection by the end of June. The candidates are all very qualified, so it's going to be a difficult decision. But I'm sure whoever we choose will be an excellent pick and will contribute immensely. An update on the website. So one of the other projects I've undertaken is we've contracted Montague Webworks, who's run by Mick Mueller he's the board president of GCTV, to redesign our website. When I became general manager, a lot of people have made comments to me about the website. And now, remember, Bob, you made a comment to me about how it really didn't do much for you. And just, it needs to be more, and serve our needs better, and also needs to be used in a manner where it could be a real recruiting aid to get more people in the community involved with us. Mick designed a really nice website for us, which I'm hoping I spoke with him in email earlier today, and we're going to have it go live this coming Monday, which is June 2nd. We're going to have it go live around 10 a.m. What I need at this point, and you guys are not going to like this, but are nice photographs of each of our board members to send me. We have photographs of all the staff members up online, and we just need our board members be on there, and we'll be good to go. So if you guys could send me your nice pictures that I could use, that'd be great. And be awesome.
Sure, no problem.
We could get that live on Monday.
Do you want like a little bio with it, or just?
We can do bios later on.
Okay.
Next phase in the project. For now, I just want to get pictures in the website live, so we say we have this, and then we can add things to it as time progresses, because we are going to want to have a whole section about like the the opportunities we're offering the students. It would be nice to have bios up, but for now, we just need to get a new website up and be done with
Okay,
the weekly
that
thing.
that that makes sense.
So, but it's coming, and I hope you guys really like it. If you've seen GCTV site, it's similar along those lines. Yes, Bob.
Jonathan, will it be possible for the website to have sort of the equivalent of a guide? I mean, could people go to the website and look and see what's on channel 12, for example, or
We
20?
can look into doing that. There is a way we might be able to set it up with Castus to do that, but that is something I will talk to Mick about when I meet with him on Monday, and we can look into doing that or come up with maybe a temporary fix because having a guide would be nice.
Yeah, it would. When I talk to people about the channels, they want to know what's on them, and I have to tell them, you just got to go look. I mean,
Yeah, it would
I
be
don't,
better to have a list or something.
yeah.
I need to let Morgan in real quick. Well,
I think it's a shame that Comcast seems like it's impossible for us to give Comcast the data they need for them to have a guide. I mean, the guide now just says local programming or something like that. It says nothing.
Oh, you mean so when they put the other channels on, like Dateline or whatever,
Yeah,
they put explicit things that's going to be on that channel, but with us, it's just local programming.
it says nothing. Right, right.
Oh, okay.
I mean, and what I also disagree with Comcast about, and I don't know if they can fix this, but they have the programs blocked off in 3-hour chunks. And so, if you happen to know when,
Yes.
Democracy Now! Is going to be broadcast on, because it's not on Comcast. We are the only way people can watch Democracy Now! But you have to record 3 hours of FCAT in order to get your 1 hour of Democracy Now! Just as
Oh, okay.
I suspect that the space channel that we put on there is not on Comcast, but there are things that we have on our channels that
That
I
are you
that are
they're you
useful. Yeah,
Yeah, they're unique to us and no one else
yeah.
has. Yeah. And that's kind of our positioning, you know.
But it would be nice even if it was divided into 1 hour chunks. So you record this hour, record that hour, instead
Yeah,
of
that's true.
recording three
That's
hours.
true.
I don't think it's in there. Right, here's this.
Well, that's kind of true. Like if you just go through the regular guide on TV, it has kind of a 3 hour front time frame of, but it does tell you where it's going to break off.
Well, if it's a 1 hour program, you record 1 hour. You click on it and it records that hour.
But with us, that there's no break in between. It's just a 3 hour block.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
There's a 3 hour thing called local programming, and then another 3 hour thing called local programming.
I guess there's a lot of local programming going on there.
Well, it's all us, but they
Yeah.
don't. We don't tell them what we're putting up there on
No,
channel
I know. I'm just
23.
I'm just kidding, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember though, even like when I was younger, it was always like that with GCTV too. You couldn't get like a listing of what was playing or anything. But even now, it's digital now. It kind of surprises me that you can't do that, but it is what it is. So,
well, at one time I think we listed it in the recorder, but I don't think we do that anymore.
right. So,
Well, so
That might
you do have an active in the server, you have a playlist that is there, right?
right.
So it would be just the technical ability to here I am. You're gonna see if Mick could maybe grab that data and have it embed on the website.
Yeah, that would be the plan.
If
That'd be
anyone
great.
could, yeah,
Yes.
if anyone could do it, he could, I would think.
I'll talk to him and see what he could help us do.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So,
But there's no way for Comcast to have it. So
yeah,
that,
I don't understand that, but
yeah. Okay. I mean,
Maybe
I can't even,
right now, though, we're still on an analog system, and I know, Bob, you've mentioned that they want to go all digital. Maybe they'll change that, but I don't know.
I would,
Maybe.
I would think it would. Yeah, that's probably why, now that I think of it.
So, any other comments or questions about the new website?
Yeah, I'll try to get you a picture. I'll have to remind myself. Send a picture.
Um, So the next thing on our agenda is regarding, and I have listed this, it was on a meeting that Bob and I attended a couple weeks ago on the early talks on regionalization with other PEG stations in Franklin County, basically GCTV, BNC TV, Montague TV, and Falls Cables. And basically, Mick Mueller is overseeing this project, and what they would like to do right now is have a regionalized channel 12. Basically, instead of us having like our own channel 12 for our four towns, it would be a big one that goes all throughout what Franklin County, basically. And Bob and I, we sort of have mixed feelings on the whole thing. I'm kind of curious what the board's thoughts on something like that is. And
I
what
I kind of like it. Like,
regionalization is in general.
so you're saying, John, that we would just all unite together instead of having the separate community access TVs, we would just kind of combine our resources and have one.
I think that might be the goal eventually, but for now, they just want to do like one particular channel. Like we would still have our cable channel 23 and cable channel 15.
Okay.
The benefit though is that this channel 12 would be in HD as well, but
Okay.
I don't know. Um,
You can always try it and reevaluate.
Yep. Yep.
that's a good idea. One thing I will tell you is I get a lot of compliments for my programming in Bolden Board because of a lot of the stuff I run and put on, and pardon for having a little bit of an ego.
Most of
I
those
like
other
to keep on
stations,
programming it.
Could you
most
just give
of
us
those
an
other,
example, John? I'm sorry. I mean, sorry, Bob. Could you
right.
just give us an example, John? Like, so there would be one. So right now it stays exactly the same, except that we would combine whatever we feel like to one channel. So we would submit something to that channel and somebody else another. Like,
Well, yeah, basically our channel 12, which is our common interest community programming, which is what Democracy Now! Runs on, and my documentaries run on, what Kevin's stuff's run on. It would be basically sent to another station and it would be programmed all throughout Franklin County. I don't know.
how would that be different from what we're doing now? Because it would include
And with
Greenfield.
the PR four town, right now I program the channel 12 for four towns, but instead of this, it would be programmed for not just our four towns, but for other towns,
Okay.
Montague, Shelburne Falls, or the two towns in Shelburne Falls, and somebody else may be programming that, which, like I said, I like doing my bulletin board and programming, so.
Yeah, I guess we'd have to just see if there was an interest for that in those other towns.
Yeah, that might be one way of looking at it.
Who's
It
spearheading
makes
this?
uncomfortable that
Nick
we're going to
Miller
lose
is
control.
spearheading it.
Yep.
Sorry, Bob.
Sorry, Bob, what'd you say?
Buzz, what were you saying? Go ahead.
Oh,
My question, I didn't understand who was spearheading this regionalization.
Mick Mueller, who's the board president of GCTV.
Okay.
Right now, the one town that has HD is, I think, Northfield, and so they're proposing they would program it and have it come out of their server in Northfield, and how it would get down to our four towns, we don't really know.
Yeah.
And I don't know that anyone has approached Comcast. They were going to approach Comcast and talk to them and see if Comcast could, run the fiber optic lines or however it would get from there to here.
So it looks like this is the beginning of a long process because if they have to provide fiber optics, I mean, that's going to take time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you guys went to the meeting. How productive and realistic do you think it is?
It was mostly people asking questions and saying, "What are you talking about?" And nobody knew anything.
Okay, so it's a very early beginning,
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Sort of kind of similar to what we're doing right now.
and nothing that requires a vote today to.
No.
No,
No.
no, no.
No.
But I guess the reason why I bring in our board opinion is it's been in the talks with a couple different stations, I guess, for a little bit since the beginning of the year. And me and Bob were approached about it and I was asked about it. And
No, I think I'm glad you told us about it.
Yeah.
I'm not, yeah, no, it's a good,
just
it's
want
good.
you guys aware of it because, like, obviously people see us being as important. And to be honest, what FCAT is a regionalization of four existing cable access stations: DCTV, which is Deerfield, Sunderland Telecom, and Whately Station, and then eventually Conway. So with all the funding cuts that we may be facing, regionalization into one bigger entity may eventually be the only option for survival too. So I don't.
Right.
We
Do you
said,
know of any other like nationally where there's other people doing it, like say in California or someplace or?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I think too, part of it is maybe the idea is that they have one bigger station or one channel and might get more people interested to produce content. Because I know like Bella and I are struggling to get members to come in or recruit new members. I don't know who else is really doing shows outside of GCTV either. I know Northfield Burnison, the gentleman that runs in Tyler, he does sports coverage. He does a pretty good job, but he's really the only other person that I'm really aware of that's producing content in this area. I think Montague's producing stuff, a lot of lectures and all too, but it doesn't look like there's a lot of community producers. So
John, where does your sports get run? Is it on channel 23?
it's on channel 12 and they do run on channel 15. Once in a while, another station like GCTV or like Burniston does ask us for them. If like a Pioneer or a Greenfield game comes up, I'll get a request to have it sent there.
But we do a lot of sports and we'd have to move that to channel 23.
Right. Or, by the time this comes up too, the channel 15s may already be HD and programmable too as well. So they could move to channel 15.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so.
Okay, just proceed with not caution, but
Yeah.
open mind and there's a long road ahead of you on this.
It's always coming. I'm open to options and ideas to help keep us alive and connected with the community. So, and I don't know if this is the answer, but it might be. We'll see.
Yeah.
Sometimes regionalization is what you have to do. So,
Just keep us posted with information as you learn it.
right.
Hey, Jonathan, we have Steve for about 15 minutes.
All right. So the next thing too that's on the agenda, we could talk more about regionalization as well. I emailed the board this month 2 documents that I went through and modified, and it's our bylaws and our operating rules, which have not been amended since 2011, and I think it's a little overdue. These guys reference our operating rules reference technology that hasn't been in use for like many years. It also references a previous location. They're a little out of date and need to be updated because we've kind of, with everything we're doing with a lot of the automation and everything, we've kind of moved just beyond doing government meeting coverage and need to have new rules in place just so we can get more involvement and have something to fall back on. So I emailed the board this document and not asking for it to be voted in or amended tonight, but just would like to have people take a look at it and maybe at our next meeting in July or August, we discuss it and just work towards getting it ready and have it in place in the fall. The next document I sent you guys is our bylaws, and like the operating rules have also not been amended since 2011. And it was interesting going through them. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be in here, and you can see what it is and just go through it as well. And we can talk about it later and figure out how to move forward as well. So
What was the first one, John? It was it's bylaws and
first one is the FCAT operating rules, and then
okay,
this is our bylaws.
okay.
And this way they're re-amended and up to date with the modern technology, and we can use them to our benefit to help move the organization forward. So
are there a lot of, I mean, is there anything that you're feeling is urgently in need of revision?
the operating rules definitely need to be revised tremendously. The bylaws need to be looked over just to make sure they're up to date and we're following them as well. So
Okay, you know what might help me is if you indicate any items in there and your ideas on how they might be improved. It might just help hone in on some certain changes if you're considering them.
In your
okay.
document, you had multiple colors. You had red, you had blue, and black. And I wasn't sure what the colors meant. It
Oh,
looked like you sent out the one that you've reviewed and changed, right?
all right. Yeah, I did program colored them for some reason, so I can fix that so it's all black and white and easier to follow. So it doesn't look like I'm highlighting anything.
Well, I didn't know if the red means that's what you're removing and the blue means that's what you're adding, but it didn't really seem that way. So,
All right, gotcha. So, all right, so we can go over these and look them over, and once we're done with that, yeah, we can amend them and we can move forward as an organization. So, that's really the last thing on the agenda. Are there any additional comments or questions? Any public comment?
John, just one more thing about these. I mean, I believe your mission is to show these to go over these with the select board because the select boards are becoming more and more viewing us as a subcontractor that they're hiring to do stuff for them. And right,
I think I think a lot of the select boards, they see us as a public service and all.
but they pay us. They pay us the money that they get from Comcast.
Yes. So, and because of that, I think it'd be good to have like a select board member from each town be a board member to help serve, have that way each town has a say as well. And their communities are represented.
Right. I think you actually said that's in the charter or something that we're supposed to be, adhering to is having representatives of each town or actually town select people on the board. Is that?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's, just a wish or if that's anything more official.
It's in there. We need to follow it.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, so it's things like that. If you could, if you don't mind, John, since you're more familiar with the content, if you could just sort of flag, even just if you gave a list of, item 5A, item 6B, you don't even have to do more than that. Just a list of things that are under consideration for revision. That would just help us to go through it and consider it and not have to read. I don't know how long it is. I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to review it, but
Right.
rather than read a whole bunch of legalese, it might just help, red flags you've seen.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We can talk about that later too, so.
Right. Okay.
All right, on that note, if there's no further comment, a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'm good.
Hi.
I'll
I
take it.
just I just had one or two questions, John, that I
Oh,
can
your
just ask.
camera's off. We can't see you.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I just had one or two questions to ask you to clarify some of the notes when the minutes
Okay.
at the end. Yeah,
Yeah, so.
unless you want me to do it here, it doesn't matter to me. I just didn't get the two seniors' names.
I'll do it afterwards since we
Okay,
just
okay.
to adjourn. All in favor of adjourning?
I.
I,
Action.
Okay.
Adjournment passes. Thank you,
you.
everybody.